Good afternoon. I hope we're already enjoying ourselves and we're having fun. If you can already tell by my outfit, I'm a fun fashion designer. So I like colors. I play with colors. I play with textures. My designs have been acknowledged as phenomenal in the fashion industry. And last year, like he mentioned, my design made it to the Met Gala, which is like the Super Bowl of fashion. So I was super excited and very happy that that happened. Again, I am the loving wife of a very supportive husband, and I have 3 children, 8, 6, and 5. And it does look like I'm very, very successful being able to manage my career and manage everything that I'm doing. But I wouldn't be standing here before you if I hadn't failed. And I have failed. Um, in 2016, I came back from a maternity leave and I was so happy to be done with having babies, and now I can face my career. Because, once you have a boy and a girl, you're like, complete, thank God. And coming from a Nigerian family, that is very, very important. Once you give them a boy, they just need a girl to, back it up, and then, then you can say goodbye. So I already told my mother-in-law we were done. And then, a month after going back to work, I discovered I was pregnant again. I know. And I was not happy about that to begin with. I mean, we went to the doctor's office to have, actually get birth control, and they said, "Oh, we're so sorry, you're 6 weeks pregnant." I know. And my husband screamed, "That's it, we're done." I wasn't sure we were done, but then I saw that he was with me on the done part. And and that's how, my story began. And I was like, okay, it's a new life. We're happy, we're excited to add more people to our home. However, that's not how my work saw it. I became a liability. They started becoming all these emails and not tagging, but copying people and, asking me questions. And I could feel my competency being questioned after coming back from a maternity leave and being pregnant again. Now, unfortunately, I got fired from my job. And 6 weeks after I got fired from my job, my son got diagnosed with Down syndrome. And I can tell you, 2016 was so dark. Because here I am, I don't have a job, and my son is gonna have Down syndrome. How am I gonna deal with a child with disability? I told my mom I was pregnant with a child with disability, and my mom was like, because in my culture, Down syndrome is seen as a curse. And so I must have done something in my past that would make me have a child with Down syndrome. And that was how I was feeling all around. Not only was I fired from my job, now I have this sad story. It's looking like my life is all bleak. So I remember being on the floor crying most of June and July. And then this lady starts calling me. The people from the genealogist, can you consider abortion? Can you consider abortion? I remember telling her the final time she called, "Do not call my phone again. Do not call me again. If you call me, I'm going to file for harassment because I want to keep my baby. I don't care what he looks like or what he does. He's mine, and I'm keeping him." And so, but then I still have this issue where I have no jobs, and the doctor is telling me that my baby might actually need me more than a regular child, so I might not actually be going back to a job. So what am I gonna do? Anyways, I know that my story is a little, but it's very interwoven because when I got married to my husband, my brother-in-law asked me, "What do you want what do you want as a wedding gift?" And I told him a sewing machine. So he got me a sewing machine. Now, before I came to America, I have never sewn a day in my life, so I don't even know what a straight line is. Okay? But I wanted a sewing machine. So now the only thing that saved me from 2016 was making clothes. And every time I make it, I post it on Facebook, and people are like, oh my God, that is beautiful. Where can I get it? Well, I made it. Can you make one for me? And then there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. And I'm like, and they're all loving their designs. And I said, oh, maybe I have something here. I have always wanted to be a fashion designer. From the time I got a brochure from FIDM, I always wanted to be a fashion designer. So here I am in America with this situation. I think it's time for me to do what I've always wanted to do. Here we go. And so I registered my business 1 month after having my son, and I am standing before these amazing women sharing my story. If I hadn't failed at keeping my job, because I did everything I could to keep that job, I saw it coming, but I didn't. So, of course, we're going to see this as a failure as human beings. There's always that silent question whether maybe they're right, maybe you're incompetent, you know? There's always that thing in the back of your head. But I took all that energy, all that sadness, all that anger, and I poured it into becoming a fashion designer. And now my designs are becoming what people can call phenomenal. Isn't that amazing? Thank you. And this is why we need to redefine the way we talk about failure. Failure isn't stagnation. Failure isn't redundancy. Failure is a slight mirror into what success could be. Failure is knowing that there is ability in what you're doing. Because when you have a child and this child takes the first step and falls, we clap, we're excited, we're happy. Why? Because we see the potentials of this child walking. We know this child is not going to be a cripple, and that's why we're excited. So even though he fell, we're not focusing on the failure, we're actually focusing on the success of taking one step. And that's why we have videos and cameras and pictures of the baby's first step, right? So if failure is a potential, is the show of potential, shouldn't it be encouraged? Shouldn't it be not so negative? Shouldn't it be something that we embrace and realize that energy is transitional? Energy does not get, we already know from the scientists that energy cannot be destroyed. However, you can transfer energy from one state to another. And because that is the case, we can take all that energy, instead of becoming depressed, instead of becoming, just flat out unhappy and staying in that state of failure, we can use all that anger inside of us, all that emotion, all that energy, and we can transfer it into something beautiful. It's into something that we can show forth. Because unless we get obsessed with success and not see our failures, we cannot succeed. I don't know anybody in this room who has never failed. If you have never failed in this room, please, kudos to you. I don't know. But we all have been able to persevere, and we're here right now. So all I'm trying to say is that as we continue to do the things that we're good at, and as we continue to go through life, there's going to be a lot of setbacks. There's going to be a lot of things that will try to hold us back. But the thing that we need to understand is that setbacks only make you stronger if you persevere, if you push a little forward. You have to see your success clearly so that failure can push you to it. I failed, and I have failed so many times in business because, of course, I moved to America and I didn't know anybody here. So starting a luxury, I don't even have friends who are going to support me. So how am I going to be the person who starts a luxury line without a friend, without friends, without family here? I met my husband on Facebook, and I came to America with no clothes because he told me not to come with any clothes. I should, I shouldn't have, I shouldn't have listened to that. I shouldn't have listened to that. I shouldn't have. But I did. So I showed up at the airport with only the clothes on my back and my purse. But I am starting a luxury line. A lot of my family members looked at me like, she is crazy. Like, how is she going to do this? But thank God that I had a wonderful husband who was like, if that's your dream, go for it. So here I am right now speaking to you. And I just want to encourage us in our lives, in everything that we do, that we should see failure as something to push us towards what we're supposed to do. If you know what you want, go for it. Will it be easy? No. Will you fail? Absolutely. But hey, everybody fails. And if we know that everybody fails, then we shouldn't be ashamed of failing. We should just understand that, okay, you see me here today, but hold on, just wait a minute. After some time, you are going to see what I have been working on, what I have cultivated, what I have made grow. And that is the part I want to leave with you today. I want to leave you saying, please redefine failure. We are women. We have emotions. Cry if you have to cry, because I do. I cry, and then my friend I was talking to the other day say, you give it one day to mourn, and then after that one day, you're like, that's the past. Now here's the future, and I am going to come head on, and this thing doesn't even know what is coming at it, So please, do not stay in your state of failure. However, let it be a lesson. Let it be another opportunity to try to do it so much better. Thank you.
That is fantastic. Thank you, Ugochi.
Thank
I
you.
think we may have a time for a couple of quick questions, and I'll start with the most important one first. For a few men in the house, do you offer any clothing advice or any discounts to men?
Yeah.
I think we need help. No, it's so much to unpack in your story, and thank you for sharing such an inspiring story with us. Maybe one of the questions I'll ask, which pertains to more on a professional front. You were able to navigate through a career change,
Yes.
and you were able to go into a new industry where you had no experience.
Yes.
Can you tell us what skills, what traits were you able to leverage from your past experience in going to a new industry and making such a great mark here?
Well, I was in the industry where I had to talk to people. It's the real estate industry. I was a property manager. So I leverage talking to people, because if you're a property manager, you're going to find people with a lot of different personalities. And these people are all entitled because it's their home. So I was able to learn how to, talk to American people. Now, people don't understand. It's a different way talking to American people when you're coming from Africa. Okay? In Africa, we just tell ourselves what we need to tell ourselves. In America, you have to be very, very nice. So, yeah, I learned that.
I feel like I'm getting online coaching at the moment. That's great. I'm learning a lot of good things. The second question I have is a little bit more on the personal front. I mean, you touched in your story that there was a time about failure. You mentioned there were 2 months, June and July, those were the most dark moments. I think many of us have been in those situations, and if you look at even the times today, it is a challenging environment around us. Could you share what coping mechanisms work for you in those situations that you would be willing to share with the rest of us?
I cried. I did cry. I remember crying a lot. I prayed like my life depended on it because I was, please let my child not have Down syndrome. I prayed hard, and then I found comfort in stabbing fabric with pins and cutting with scissors. I just stab and cut. It was good therapy. You should try it. But at the end of the day, beyond the laughter, I actually did talk a lot and pray a lot. That's what saw me through.
That's fair. I was going to say for all of us in the room, one tip I take away is for your next birthday gift, a pair of scissors and a swing machine. Definitely works. Now, in all seriousness, I think we're running out of time. What a way to end the day here. Incredible story. Thank you for sharing with us. I think if one takeaway we all take away from this discussion is that sometimes adversity brings out the best in us.
Yes.
And in the times we've been recently, it is just a way to empower not just ourselves, but the people around us. You've been a great inspiration to us.
Thank you. Thank you for
Wonderful, wonderful talk. And let's just give a big round of applause to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.